Good morning, students. Today we are doing beta factor. We have done CAPM model. In capital asset pricing model, we know that beta factor is very important. So before starting with beta factor, we can briefly revise the CAPM. CAPM model, we have done that this is given by William Sharpe. The model tells us about how capital assets should be priced in the markets if all the investors behave rationally. That means if the market is efficient, how pricing of capital assets is to be done. This is given in CAPM. In CAPM, only systematic risk is relevant. We have done that if the market is efficient, unsystematic risk can be reduced to zero. If unsystematic risk is not there, then in the portfolio, only systematic risk is there. Investor is bearing only systematic risk, so his returns should be related only to the systematic risk. This is the CAPM equation, which shows linear relationship between expected return on the security and return for time and return for risk, right? In this equation, you can see that we are considering beta factor. That means risk premium is calculated only using systematic risk. This beta is an indicator of systematic risk. That means quantum of systematic risk in the security or portfolio. This is calculated using beta factor. Regarding beta factor, we have done that beta shows degree of responsiveness of a securities return with the market return. That means how sensitive a securities return is to the changes in return on market portfolio. This is shown by beta factor. Suppose a securities return, they are more sensitive to changes in market return, then its beta factor will be on higher side. For calculation of beta, we use this formula. Beta is equal to covariance SM divided by variance of market portfolio. We have done that covariance SM. It can be written like this also. Standard deviation on the security multiplied by standard deviation of market portfolio into correlation coefficient between securities return and return on market portfolio. Solving this equation, we can express beta in terms of correlation coefficient. So beta can be expressed in terms of covariance or in terms of correlation coefficient. Abbreviations used in the formula, these have been explained here. So beta is nothing but an index of degree of responsiveness of securities return with market return. This beta factor is very important factor in CAPM. In CAPM, for calculation of fair price, we always use beta factor. We know beta is an indicator of systematic risk only. This doesn't show total risk. This shows only systematic risk. Beta shows responsiveness of securities return to return on market portfolio. This is relevant for pricing of securities and other financial assets. In realistic market also, we use beta factor for checking fair price of the security. Keep this thing in mind, beta of market portfolio is always equal to 1. Reason being, market portfolio is taken as a reference point. We consider sensitivity of each securities return in relation to return on market portfolio. So beta of market portfolio is taken as 1. Risk-free security doesn't have any volatility, so beta of risk-free security is equal to 0. You can see the difference between standard deviation and beta. Standard deviation is an indicator of total risk on the security or portfolio. Beta shows only systematic risk. You know, total risk is equal to unsystematic risk and systematic risk. So standard deviation shows total risk, but beta shows only systematic risk. Standard deviation is nothing but variability in return. Beta is nothing but responsiveness of securities or portfolio returns to changes in market return. In HM model, we use standard deviation to find optimum portfolio. So when in portfolio theory or HM model, selection of optimum portfolio is to be done. We consider total risk, and for that standard deviation is used. But in CAPM or capital market theory, we use only beta factor for finding fair price of the security. Now we can do relationship between beta and fair price of a security. We know beta of market portfolio is equal to 1. Now suppose a securities beta is also equal to 1. That means systematic risk on security is equal to aggregate market risk. In that situation, return of the security will be equal to return on market portfolio. But if beta is more than 1, that means systematic risk on the security is more than aggregate market risk. This is very risky security. On this security, investor will expect higher return. So return on security will be higher than return on market portfolio. But if beta is less than 1, that means systematic risk on the security is less than aggregate market risk, then expected return on the security will be less than market return. If beta is equal to 0, that means there is no systematic risk in the security, then return will be equal to risk-free return. That means investor is getting return only for time. In rare situation, when beta is less than 0, this is a rare situation, generally it is not possible, then return on the security will be less than even risk-free rate. This we can show with the help of example also. In the question, risk-free rate of interest is 8%, return on market portfolio 17%, and betas of 5 stocks, they are given to you. You can calculate expected return on these stocks using CAPM equation. When beta is 0.6, in case of A, it is 0.6, that means this is less than 1. Return on A is 13.4. Market return is 17%, that means expected return on the security is less than return on market portfolio. In case of B, beta is equal to 1. Expected return on B is 17%, which is equal to return on market portfolio. In case of C, beta is 1.2, which is more than 1. Expected return on the security using CAPM equation is coming out to be 18.8%, which is higher than market portfolio's return. Reason being, systematic risk on this security is more than aggregate market risk. In case of D, beta is equal to 0. That means there is no systematic risk in the portfolio. In this situation, expected return on the security will be equal to risk-free return. In case of E, beta is negative, less than 0. Return on the security is 6.2, which is less than risk-free rate, right? The same we can show with the help of a diagram. In CAPM equation, we have done that CAPM equation can be expressed graphically using security market line. This line originating from IRF and upward sloping line. This is security market line. On x-axis, we have taken systematic risk. On y-axis, we have taken expected return on the security. Now take one hypothetical point where beta is equal to 1. At this point, return on the security will be equal to return on market portfolio. So this is RM point, right? Now take this point when beta is more than 1, then securities return will be more than RM. At this point, beta is less than 1, then RS will be less than RM. Here, systematic risk on the security is 0. No systematic risk is there. Return on the security will be equal to risk-free rate of interest. And if we go left to this point, here beta is less than 0. Return on the security will be less than risk-free rate of interest, right? So this is relationship between beta and fair price on the security. Now let us check calculation of beta factor in historical return series. Here data of returns on security X and return on market portfolio. This data is given for 5 years. That means this is historical return series, and you have to calculate beta for X limited and beta for market. Beta for market is always equal to 1. So this need not be calculated. We have to calculate beta for X limited. In X post series, beta is equal to covariance SM divided by variance of market portfolio. And in X post series, we know that covariance SM is equal to summation of deviation of individual returns on security from arithmetic mean of the security. These deviations are to be multiplied with deviations of individual returns on market portfolio with average return on market portfolio. This is to be divided by number of years, right? And regarding this variance on market portfolio, we can use this formula to calculate variance on market portfolio. So let us start with calculation of expected return and risk on market portfolio. You can prepare a table like this. Here we have taken returns for different years on market portfolio. Summation of these returns is 80. So average return on market portfolio, this can be calculated. This is equal to summation of individual returns divided by number of years. That is 80 divided by 5. This is 16%. Now take deviation of individual returns from this average return. These are the deviations, and square these deviations. Like here deviation is 15 minus 16. This is minus 1. Square of the deviation is 1. Here deviation is 12 minus 16 minus 4. Square of deviation is 16. Sum these deviations, and then using this formula you can calculate variance of market portfolio. This is summation of squared deviations divided by number of years. So variance on market portfolio, this is coming out to be 6. Now do calculation of expected return on the security and covariance XM and then beta factor. Use this table. These are returns on securities X. Summation is 73. Using arithmetic mean, you can calculate average return on X. This is coming out to be 14.6%. Using this average return, calculate deviations. Then consider deviations in case of market portfolio. This we did in the last table. So I am picking up this column and we are using this column here. These are deviation of individual returns on security with average return on security. These are deviations of individual returns on market portfolio with average return on market portfolio. Multiplying these two deviations, we have calculated this column. Sum of this column is minus 21. Divide that by number of years. This will give you covariance in securities return and in market return. Using this covariance and variance of market portfolio, you can calculate beta factor. Beta is coming out to be minus 0.7. In this way, you can calculate beta in case of ex post or historical return series. Now let us do calculation of beta in ex ante series. Ex ante series, that means expected return series where probability distribution is given to you. In this situation, 3 economic conditions are given to us: good, normal, worse. Return on security A in these situations, returns are given. Return on market portfolio in these three situations, that is given to you, and probability of occurrence of these three situations, it is given in this column. Risk-free rate of interest is 4%. Assuming CAPM equation, you have to tell, should an investor buy this share A? Now, investor will be buying this share only when expected return on this share is more than fair price of the share, that means return calculated as per CAPM equation. In this situation, share will be underpriced. Fair price as per CAPM equation, this equation is to be used. For using this equation, we require beta factor. Beta on A is equal to covariance AM divided by variance of market portfolio returns. Covariance AM in case of expected return series can be calculated using this formula. This we did in the chapter portfolio risk and return. And variance of market portfolio in case of expected return series, this can be calculated using this formula. This we did in risk and return chapter also, and then portfolio risk and return, maybe we use this formula. Now start with calculation of expected risk and return on market index. Three situations. These are returns on market portfolio in these three situations. Probabilities of these three situations. RMIPI, this fourth column, 2 into 3. That means 22 into 0.3, 6.6. In this way you calculate. Sum this up. This will give you expected return on market portfolio. This we will be using as RM in CAPM equation. Now after that, take deviation of individual returns from this expected return. Square these deviations, multiply these with PI, right? And take the summation. This summation gives you variance on market portfolio. Let's see. Now we can calculate expected return on A and covariance AM. These are returns on security A, probability of these three situations. Take RAIPI, sum this up. This will give you expected return on security A. This is coming out to be 4.7%. Take deviation of individual returns from expected return. Then take deviation. यहाँ पे we are taking deviation of individual return on security A with expected return on security A. In this column, we are taking deviation of individual returns in different situations on market portfolio with expected return on market portfolio. Multiply these two columns, that means 16.3 into 16.3, 7.3 into 12.3, and then multiply it with PI, right? This we require for calculation of covariance AM or SM. RAI minus ERA, RMI minus ERM into PI. This seventh column is multiplication of fifth column, sixth column, and third column. The total is 191.01. This is covariance AM. Now using covariance AM and variance on market portfolio, we can calculate beta factor, right? Beta factor is coming out to be 0.876. Use this beta factor in CAPM equation and calculate fair price of security A or expected return as per CAPM equation. This is coming out to be 5.49% approximately. See, we have calculated expected return of the security. This is 4.7%. and fair price or expected return as per CAPM equation, this is 5.49. That means expected return on the security is less than fair price. Expected return on the security is 4.7%, fair price is 5.49%. This security is overpriced security. This security will lie below security market line SML. The rule remains the same. Underpriced security must be purchased. Overpriced security should not be purchased. So this security should not be purchased by the investor, right? So in this way, in case of expected return series, you can calculate beta factor and you can use this beta factor in investment decision making. One more question we can do. Suppose information is given to you regarding beta of a stock, which is 1.3. Standard deviation of returns is 15%. Expected market return is 15%. Risk-free rate is 6%. You have to calculate market risk premium, expected return on this particular stock, risk premium of the stock, abnormal return on the stock, if any. If average return on the stock, this is average actual return on the stock, is 19%, and then you have to tell, is this stock a good buy? That means whether this is worthwhile to purchase this stock or not. Starting with market risk premium. Market risk premium we know is RM minus RF. Here RM is 15%. IRF given in the question is 6%. So market risk premium is 9%. Then we have to calculate expected return on this particular stock. For that we can use CAPM equation. Beta of this stock we know is 1.3. Risk-free return is 6%, and market return, that means return on market portfolio, is 15%. Using CAPM equation, expected return on this stock is coming out to be 17.7%. This is expected return as per CAPM, which is also known as fair price of the stock. Regarding risk premium on the stock, in the question it is given risk premium on the stock. Risk premium on the stock is equal to expected return on the stock minus IRF. If you have to calculate market risk premium, we take difference between RM and IRF. But if you have to calculate risk premium on the security, this will be equal to RS minus IRF. This is coming out to be 11.7%, right? Can you see the reason for this? See, beta factor is 1.3. This is more than 1. That's why expected return on the security is more than return on market portfolio. And this stock is giving you a risk premium which is higher than market risk premium. Regarding abnormal return on the stock, for that we need to take difference between actual average return and expected return as per CAPM. Actual average return is given in the question as 19%. Return expected as per CAPM is 17.7%. Difference is 1.3%. This is abnormal return. This stock is giving you more than fair price. That means more than the return which we calculated using CAPM. Is this a good buy? Yes, this is a good buy because this security will lie above SML. This security is underpriced security. This kind of security should be purchased. It is a good buy, right? So these types of questions may come in examination. You have to calculate, you have to practice these questions on calculation of beta and CAPM from the book, and you can practice these theory questions. That's all regarding this class.